What can you tell us about Borderlands 4's Endgame?
Yeah, I care a lot for Endgame. Like I said, I kind of curated the Endgame of Borderlands 3. And through that time with Borderlands 3, I got a really good vision of what an Endgame experience for Borderlands was through tons of feedback through the community as well. And so going into Borderlands 4, I wanted to make sure out the gate there was an Endgame. You know, Borderlands 3, we didn't have dedicated drops at launch. We didn't have some Endgame activities. You know, you just were grinding the bosses. You still wanted to get the RNG to get the best build for your, the best version of a gun. That's core of an action RPG is you're always going after the gear, of course. But this time around, I wanted to make sure that there was more to do. So after you complete the campaign, you go through some tutorial missions, and now we have weekly wildcard missions. So I want to be also cognizant of everyone's time. So if you want a legendary, every week there'll be a different mission. If you do that mission, you're going to get a guaranteed legendary. So if you don't have the time to grind out a boss, you know that you can still, over the course of the game's life, you could eventually collect all the legendaries. We have many legendaries, so many weeks of content there. Also, we have the big encore machine that we've added, so now you can grind bosses right in the game, no save loading. And week to week, one of the bosses gets marked as the big encore version of a boss, and you can spend Iridium to then get an increased drop rate from that boss. It's not free, you gotta spend Iridium to get that higher drop rate, but again, there's a way to meaningfully grind that boss more quickly for that week. We have Maurice's black market vending machine. I was really happy with how that turned out in Borderlands 3, so we brought that back. And then like I said, you'll still be wanting to max out your character to level cap at level 50. You're gonna want to get firmware. We added gear sets to Borderlands for the first time, and so you'll want to be getting the drops and moving firmware between your gear to again, min-max your character. All told, this is our most ambitious endgame. We have a set of activities that get unlocked after you get to endgame. You can make a new character at endgame, and you can go through the Ultimate Vault Hunter ranks and difficulty where you actually have to prove yourself, and it's not just a slider on the Mayhem bar. All that changed. Out the gate, Borderlands 4 has the best interpretation of an endgame for Borderlands, and we've already, we're gonna be adding invincible bosses over the course of the first year. We have lots of post-launch content. We're still gonna do community events and weekly events. So I'm really proud of what we have in front of us. I think people jumping into the game are gonna have a lot to do just in the base game. And then once they get to endgame, they're gonna have tons to engage in. That's gonna change week to week and never feel stale. And at the same time, not feel like we're making you grind needlessly. We're appreciating everyone's limited time these days.